Hi guys, welcome back to my new video. So in this video I wanted to talk about something which we all want to achieve, we all desire in some way or another. It is kind of like a very popular terms in creative field especially, which is flow state. And I want to talk about the book called Finding Flow. This book is by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. That's the pronunciation at the back, like literally Csikszentmihalyi, like that's how you pronounce the name. And funny story, I actually wanted to get the another book by the same author, which was just called The Flow. But when I went to the library, I was kind of in a rush, so I just grabbed this book, which is Finding Flow, and it's by the same author as well. But this book was great as well, and I want to talk about the flow state and like the flow in general, which everyone want to achieve, and why people want to achieve this flow state. Now, if we look at the flow state is usually considered when someone is so into the work they're doing, into the activity they're doing, that they kind of like forget the world around them. The time goes really quick. They don't have any perception of the time. The first example in the book is about someone who is skiing, and in the moment all they're doing is just skiing down the slope. And that flow state is usually what a lot of other people in a lot of different profession go through as well, like musician playing any musical instrument, runners high, people playing sports, people writing codes, someone talking, someone giving a speech, two friends even talking. All the things, like all these kind of activities come under flow state. And there have been many evidence which suggests that the more successful you can be in life is depending on how often you can enter the flow state in your given profession or in whatever work you want to do. Now, this book talks about how most of the people spend majority of their times on three different things. Either they will be working, either they will be kind of like relaxing, enjoying, and then they will be doing things like sleeping, eating, and things like that. So why we are talking about flow state in general? Now, usually people who experience more flow states tend to be more happier in life, and the activity does not matter. So it does not matter if you are farming in a field, or if you are doing a 9 to 5 job, or if you are working at a big multinational company. You can achieve flow state anywhere, and the longer flow states you achieve at your work and your personal life, the happier you will be. And this book kind of like talks about how people who are rich look down upon the people who are not that rich and think how these people can possibly be happy. And then these things got into the media, and obviously when other people started consuming media, even though they were happy with their life, they started thinking that they are not happy with their life, because people with more money kind of like was telling them that, oh, you are not, how you can be happy with less money. And everyone started thinking, how can we be happy with less money? And then capitalism kind of grew and everything. Let me remind you, this book is from like 1997, I think. So it has been over 25 years. So this book talks from a different perspective, but I can kind of like see this is true in today's world as well, especially in terms of social media, especially where people are kind of like bashing the 9 to 5 jobs, that you need to have some kind of like hustle culture. You can't be happy in your 9 to 5 job, but that is a topic for a completely separate video. What my thing was, like, people who achieve more flow state are more happier in life in general. And happiness comes from two factors. So it can be external, like more money, of course, nice weather, sunshine, you are resting your rested body. All of these things are external. But if you look at the internal happiness, it always comes from the state of flow. Now, to find flow, there are only two things you need. You need a clear set of instructions, and you need a clear set of goals. But even with clear goals and instructions, to achieve a flow state, you need other sets of requirement as well. So to achieve a flow state, you need to have a clear goal and instruction, but your skills should also meet the challenges. So if you are highly skilled in something, but the challenge is very small, you'll get bored easily. Or if you are not skilled enough, but the challenge is very high, you'll get anxiety. So imagine as an adult, you are playing a badminton against a 10-year-old. You will quickly feel bored in the game because you'll be winning a lot. And if you're playing against a world champion, then you'll be losing a lot. So you will kind of like, lose interest as well. So to have those flow states in any field or any given task, you need to have a right amount of challenge based on your skills. So if you want to start getting into the flow state today, you need to kind of reflect on your skills and then take the challenges based on your skills. So most of the time people are in flow when they're doing their favorite activity. It can be like painting, playing music, singing, talking to friends, gardening, cooking. It can be all those sort of things. Now, flow can also happen at work. So if you are very interested in your work, you can enter flow state into your work as well. You might not be happy by the end of the day because of external things you have in your mind that you should not be happy at your work. But work have clear set of rules and goals, so people can usually enter the state of flow in work as well. Now, it is very hard to achieve the state of flow when you are just watching TV, you are scrolling your phone, or you are just relaxing. So there was a study how people spend most of their free time and how it correlates to their happiness and state of flow. Now, most of the people kind of like responded that they achieve the state of flow when they're doing their favorite activity, but most of the time they don't choose to do that. They choose to watch TV, just sit back and relax. Now, this is the another thing to enter the state of flow. So now the biggest drawback or the biggest challenge to enter this state of flow is the initial investment. People love to play sports, but then they have to kind of like get ready, go out, plan with their friends, or make a booking, go to that certain place where they have to do that, and it all requires that extra set of effort. But if you want to watch a TV, all you have to do is just sit and click on the remote. And same with all you have to do is just take out your phone and start scrolling away. And personally, I know a lot of people can relate to this, that entering this state of flow and that initial investment, that first step you need to take, that first step where I need to kind of like set up the light and camera to record this video, is kind of what is the most hardest part. But again, the more you do it, the more you get into the routine of it, and then it comes down to building habits. If you keep doing same thing again and again, you will build habit around it. And again, if you kind of push your challenges based on your skills, you will keep entering the flow state, and this is the key to get successful in life. Now, if you have not read the book Flow or Finding Flow, or even the book Flow and Creativity by the same author, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, I'll definitely recommend getting this book and giving it a read through. There was a very beautiful line in this book. It talks about if there is any life after this life, so like heaven or hell, or rebirths and stuff. And there's a perspective which he kind of like points out is we should live this life imagining that there's no other life after this. This is all the 50, 70, 80 years we will get. And if this turns out to be true, we will not have any regret in life. And if this turns out not to be true, then there's no harm. Like, we live this life properly, and then we will get to enjoy whatever is next. And if there's nothing next, we enjoyed this life to the fullest already. So that kind of really stood out for me. We can believe in whatever we want, but at the same time, we will never know it until we die. So till we are here on this planet Earth, why not make the most out of it? And why not just try to enjoy this life as much as we can? So finding the flow, I'm trying my best. I'm gonna try to concentrate more on things. And there are other examples which I have seen about how to achieve the state of flow. There are things which get into the way. So for example, if I'm editing a video and I started worrying about other things in my mind, that I'm not gonna get any views, or I have to do this or that, I won't be able to enter the state of flow because my mind is kind of like occupied. Like, there's a certain energy or certain kind of like my brain have a capacity to run information, and I'm using some of the information for other activity. And to enter the state of flow, I need to spend most of my energy from the brain in one single activity, and then I will enter the state of flow. I learned about this in another video. I think that thing is in the book Flow, not Finding Flow, but I'm gonna read the book Flow, and I want to read the Flow and Creativity because as a creative person, I want to kind of like learn more about it. And the link for the book will be in the description below. So let me know in the comment section if you have ever entered the state of flow and how it is like for you. Does time goes quick? How much work you get done? How do you feel after it? And we can discuss it more there. And I'm gonna try to post more videos regularly. I will try to get into the flow state more of making videos, and hopefully I will see you in one of the other videos. Goodbye.